Welcome to the session on time management. And this is a very important skill to have in life, the skill of effectively managing time. Because a lot of things that we do in life, our goals, aspiration, need to function on the time that we have, which is 24 hours a day for everybody. But knowing how to use it effectively is the key. And that's what we're going to be covering in this session. Don't forget that you're supposed to take your pre-test before you continue with this session. And once again, my name is Ezine Uzoiji. The content, what we're going to be looking at for this session includes what time is, what time management is, the benefits of effective time management tools, and how to use the priority metrics in time management, and the roadblocks that could come up in effective management so that you can avoid them, and then tips for effective time management. Now let's look at what time is. I really love this definition by Wikipedia that stated that time is the indefinite continuous progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. So you see that time is both the past, the present, future. Is a continuous existence, progress of events, progress of existence. So we've been able to find a way to quantify time. In history and in the Gregorian calendar, we've been able to come up with 365 days in the calendar. We've been able to define that 24 hours makes a full day and all of that. So, one of the things that we need to understand is that time spent can never be earned again. Once today has passed, it's not coming back again. Once today passes, it goes to the past, and all we have is just now and the future. We can only take lessons from the past and do better for the now and for the future. But all we have as our own time is now and the future. And if you notice, none of us really understands what the future could look like sometimes. We could predict, oh, we're going to live to we are 100 years. It's almost like a wish. We want to do this, we want to do that, and we can keep pushing things to a future that is not promised. All you have is right now. So you see that life is all about timing. And so every moment of life should be respected, should be valued. You should not be the sort of person that idles away time, because that is actually a thing. Idling away time is not because you are relaxing. There's a place for relaxation, there's a place for leisure, but it's like there's no account you can even give for how you spent time. You're just wasting it. There's nothing productive that you did. You did not spend the resting. You did not spend the socializing. It's just a mass of time that you're allowed to pass away. No, that shouldn't be, because none of us can be able to create time. Science has not even come to that aspect where we can generate time and we're selling it. All right. So it's important for us to understand time as something that is valuable. So, since we know that time has an uncontrollable nature, it's important that we learn how to control it, that we learn how to use it better. And that's where the concept of time management comes in. Here, it's the process of planning and exercising conscious control of time spent on specific activities, especially to increase effectiveness, efficiency, and productivity. That means that you are doing certain things that helps you to better maximize the time that you have. That cannot be bought from anywhere, that cannot be taken back once it's spent. So there are actually benefits of effective time management, and these are things that we already know, but I'll go through them. There is an increase in productivity when you're better able to manage your time. You're better able to produce more results. You have better things to show for the time that has passed. You don't allow months, years, days, hours to pass without you showing forth, oh, this is what I've used all this time that has passed for. And another thing is that you're better organized, because you start taking control of what time you have, how you spend it. You better organize yourself. It's not everything that goes for you. It's not every party, every event that is beneficial for you, because you've understood, you've prioritized, you've realized, oh, you can't do everything in this world. Another thing is that you're able to reduce procrastination and loss, because sometimes when you assume that you have a lot of time, you can procrastinate a lot of things. You can lose a lot of opportunities. But when you're aware that, oh, these are the ways you can manage your time, you're better able to deliver on some things within a time frame. You're better able to not lose certain opportunities because you managed your time effectively. Another one is you're able to build leadership spirit and confidence. And you will notice that what sets apart leaders from a lot of people are those leaders that are better able to maximize time. They're better able to delegate things to people and all of that. So when you are able to manage time, you see that you are seen more as a leader. People prefer to give you leadership opportunities. People prefer you to be the leader in things because they see how you're able to manage your time effectively. Another thing is it helps in general self development, of course, because when you're able to set out time to do things, it means that you're better able to develop yourself. Another thing is that it reduces your stress level. You're better able to rest well. You're better able to not have lots of mistakes that will need you to repeat work a lot. And you have more free time. This is one of the hidden benefits of effective time management. Because sometimes when people do not set out to plan their time, to use their time effectively, they will notice that it seems like they don't really have any time for anything. But when you're better able to plan your time, you can even plan the time for leisure, for rest, for hanging out. You see that you're able to have more free time that you can account for. And you're better able to make decisions because you are aware of your time and you are better self-discipline, and this can all lead to a more successful career and personal life. So we've all seen some of the benefits of time management. Let's now look at the tools that we can use to better manage our time. So the first is the to-do list. Now, this to-do list can be a physical notepad or some apps that enable you to do to-do lists, maybe like note apps on your phone, where you can just detail the things that you're supposed to do in a day. Ideally, it's recommended that the night before another day, you should write what you intend to fulfill on that day so that you can be able to meet up with all of those things. It's important that you make lists of things that you want to do, because when you have those things written down somewhere, you can always get back to it and check off every item that you've completed on your to-do list. This also helps people that may have impromptu requests to do things. If they can check their to-do list and remember, oh, there are some things they detailed to do, then it can help them to stay on track and not waste a lot of time. Another one is the organizer or scheduler. Sometimes people use notes, some applications for this as well. And these days, some people are using things like Google Calendar to be able to schedule their times and meetings. Another one is good old diary that we all know, physical diary. You can just write down all of the things that you have to do. Now, one other thing that you can use in time management is the priority matrix. Now, this is what the priority matrix looks like. And with the priority matrix, you're able to assess whether a particular task can bring you closer towards achieving your goals. Remember that we talked about goals earlier on in this soft skills training. So, with the priority matrix, you're able to prioritize everything that you have to do based on urgency and importance. So look closely at this. You will see that here is the red one that is indicated by the red color, and what is written there is action, do first, and the next one is action, do next. So if you look closely here, there are two questions here, and this one says high importance, and this one is questioning you, asking you how important is the task. All right. So with the priority matrix, you get to answer two questions. You get to answer this question that is here and this other one that is here. You make sure that the things that you're doing first are of high importance and high urgency. That's what you have to do next and do first. And then what you do next is this one that is of high importance but low urgency. And then what you do later is something that is of low importance and high urgency. And then what you don't really need to do is something that is of low importance and low urgency. So This can help you in delegating your daily activities. For instance, if in a day you understand that you're supposed to deliver on a project and there's already a time schedule to it, is of high importance, is of high urgency, you can schedule to do it first. If there's yet another meeting you're supposed to go on to clarify some other things, then you can schedule to do it next. And then if maybe there's something else that is of low importance but high urgency, you can schedule to do it later. And things like social media, chatting, and getting to know new people. If you know that there are a lot of things on your list that could take up that time, you can schedule not to do it for that day. So this is basically how the priority matrix works. So you can decide to try it out right now. Try out, what do you have to do for now that is urgent? What do you have to do for now that is urgent and of high importance? List them all out. Try and plan out your day, your typical day, and see how you can use this priority matrix to actually map out the things that you're supposed to do. To take it again, I'll go in detail to explain the difference between responsibility, important and urgent responsibilities. So important responsibilities are those that contribute to the achievement of your goals. I already gave us some examples. Urgent responsibilities are those that require immediate attention, which if you don't deal with them, it could lead to some issues or consequences. So most of the time, these responsibilities are usually linked to set goals. So in your priority matrix, the tasks that are in quadrant one, this is the first quadrant, that is the do first. Right, these tasks have important deadline with high urgency, so you need to act fast on it. Now, the second quadrant is the one that is quite important but has low urgency. And in this one, you need to actually still do it next because you see that long-term strategies are usually found in this quadrant. The third quadrant is one that is quite unimportant, but it has a high level of urgency. This is your third quadrant here. Now, this quadrant could be a distraction from set goals, and this quadrant is one that you can delegate things from there. If you have a team, if you have some people under you, you can decide to delegate it to someone else. Quadrant 4 is unimportant and not urgent. So this is quadrant 4, which means that if you're actually doing it, there's no tangible results you're getting from there, so you can decide to do away with it. So go ahead right now and try your own priority metrics. This is something that professionals use a lot and it helps them to manage their time. Go ahead and try, get used to this. Find out what are the things that you can list, just 4 things that you can list on your to do, and work around it. Another important thing to note when you're actually trying to manage time is not to fall into the temptation of putting in a lot of things into your schedule. That can be a trap, and before you know it, you're discouraged by all the things that you've not been able to do. Now, there are roadblocks that you will see to effective time management. These roadblocks are like time stealers. The first is lack of goals. When you don't have things that you're already working on, goals that you already set on ahead of time, it can feel like you have all the time in this world. If you didn't set a goal to get on this fellowship, to finish with all the learning, to improve yourself personal and other things, then all these 3 months may have gone by without anything, right? So setting goals is very important. When you set goals, that helps you to better manage your time. That helps you to better delegate things because you now know that you're working towards something because you understand that those goals need time to come to fruition. Another one is procrastination. If you're in the habit of putting things off to another day, to another hour, to another week, that can affect the way that you manage your time. Another one is ineffective delegation. There are certain things as you climb up in your career, in your business, that you need to delegate to other people that be below you in the office or business setting. And if you keep doing everything, then it means that you will never be able to manage your time effectively. So you need to understand when you should start delegating, what you should be delegating. Then another one is when you have a reactive mindset or attitude instead of a proactive attitude. Being reactive means that you react to things that happen. You don't see things before they happen and then make steps, take actions before those things happen. You just react to things. You're not really seeing ahead. You're not responding to things either. You're just very reactive. If A happens, then A minus one from you will happen, and not really that you see it happening ahead of time and you prepare for it. Another one is indecision. When you spend a lot of time not taking a decision, you're wasting time. So indecision can steal your time. Get to make decisions quickly, as soon as possible. Another one is social media addiction. We all know what this is. If you actually check on your social media apps, especially Instagram and Facebook, in the settings, there's now a place where you can check how much time you're spending on each app. So you can start by checking how much time do you even spend on these apps. Is it more than 1 hour? Is it up to 5 hours? So when you actually start checking this, it can help you to effectively manage your time. A lot of people just scroll through social media all day, and the worst part is that they don't even post. They are not creating content. They're not making money off it. They just enjoy scrolling through, and this can steal their time. Another one is unregulated entertainment. There, for some people, their own is they must finish all the series of a movie that they pick up. And when you just do it like that, you see that they spend week in, week out watching all the episodes of their favorite, of their new favorite shows. And you see that it's unregulated. And this can be tied into them not having goals. Because when you have goals, you know when to pause on your entertainment. You know when to schedule time for entertainment as a reward for what you're working on. And not that you spend all of your days being entertained. Another one is when you have too many tasks on your schedule. I talked about this initially, that having too many tasks on your schedule can even make you waste more time because you have this discouragement that, oh, you did not do this, you did not do that, when at the end of the day it was you that scheduled too much for yourself. You also have fear of failure. When you're afraid to fail, you're also afraid to take action, and that can steal your time. Lack of organization is also part of it. You need to stay organized. You also need to be able to say no. When you're unable to say no, a lot of people may be handing off things to you that you have no business with, that has no reward for you, that cannot improve you, simply because you seem to be always available. So understand when things can get in your way, when things are against your schedule, to say no to all of those things. I hope you've been enjoying this so far. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. All right, some other thing you can see when it comes to um, managing your time is tips for effective time management. One is to audit all your activities done daily. What this means is at the end of every day, maybe 9 p.m. every day, do a mental check. Write down all of the things you did that day. Did it really make sense? Did it really make sense for you to take out that 2 hours to visit someone unannounced, or to allow someone to visit you unannounced when you have things to do? Does that happen frequently? Are there some things you can stop going forward? When you're able to audit your activities, you know what to do better the next time. Another one is to have a clear agenda for every meeting you'll be facilitating. If you know you are calling a meeting, and have a clear agenda. It's when you have a clear agenda that you can be able to cut short all of the unnecessary time you may have spent trying to beat around the topic. Having a clear agenda can help you set clear timestamps to the meeting so that you can dismiss the meeting on time. Then set realistic and achievable targets. There's no need setting that, oh, we are going to do 21 tasks in a day, when ideally there's not enough time for that in a day. You can also decide to plan your week on a Sunday. That means on Sunday you're planning the rest of your week. You're planning the certain things that you must achieve in the coming week. That means that you're not really planning it on a work day and as it comes, but you're seeing your week in a flash, and you're actually making tentative plans for what will happen on each day of the next week. The next is that you can handle your important tasks in the morning. That means those things on the priority matrix, the first that you should do, you do it in the morning. You don't put it off till the night. You do it in the morning when you're still energetic, and then it can help you to effectively manage your time. Also, avoid procrastination and block off any form of distraction. Now, other tips for effective time management is to take short breaks between tasks. So it could be very enticing to think that you work all through the day, but that is not very realistic. So if you know that you're going to be working from 9 o'clock to 4 p.m., for instance, have short breaks between your tasks. When you have those short breaks, it helps you to feel energized enough to continue. And those short breaks, you can also time them. Maybe you can decide it's 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes before you start on another one. Sleep very well at night, try not to skip nights of sleep. There could be instances when you're working on projects and you just need to stay awake, but make sure that you're balancing it out through the night, through the day. Make sure that you're able to get adequate rest, because when you're not, it keeps impacting on your mental and physical health. Learn to say no, especially to things, to people, to activities that don't align with your goals. You don't need to go to every event that comes up, especially when it's not aligned with your goals. Learn to say no, because you don't really have enough time for everything to be done on earth. Then if you actually have a project that you're working on, let's say you're supposed to deliver on that project on a Friday, time yourself, plan to actually deliver, work as if you're going to be delivering that project on a Thursday. This can help you to manage your time. This can also help to make corrections in your own time if there are lots of errors on what you're working on. Find a good time management system. I already showed you how the priority matrix works. Try and adopt it. It's actually when you try to implement it that you start getting used to it. If you just listen and do nothing, you will not be able to understand it and then work with it effectively. So again, make sure that you do that priority matrix task. Then schedule email response times. Don't be the sort of person that every time of the day you're always checking your email, you're always checking your social media. Do your work that you should do every day. Then you can decide maybe every 5 hours you can check your email. Some people decide, maybe there's some people that are quite very busy, decide they check their emails first thing in the morning before they work, or last thing in the day. So schedule the time that you are responding to your email. This can also extend to your social media messages as well, so that you don't get into the trap of responding to maybe 500 messages, and before you know it, you've not done a lot of things for that day. Then meditating and exercising every morning has been scientifically proven to help with time management, because when you do this, you're better relaxed, you're better energized for the work that you have for that day. Then you can also decide to get a mentor that can guide you. And a mentor will usually be someone that is dedicated to your progress, and someone that you also give value to. A mentor can be someone that can help you question some things that you are doing right or wrong. Ensure that you turn off social media app alerts. Sometimes some phones have things like do not disturb. It's called DND too, where you can actually activate it, and throughout that day you will not have any notifications from your social media apps. This can help you to stay focused on the project, on the tasks that you have to do for that day. Always stay organized, and remember to stay in tune with your goals. So I hope you've enjoyed this session so far. And in conclusion, understand that you may delay, but time will not. Remember that we mentioned that time is something we're not really fully in control of. It's when we manage it that we're able to get better results out of time. So don't forget to take your post test at this link, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.